Guys, we're going live in the Kelly kitchen. Here we are. I think it's week 11, quarantine, maybe week 12. I don't even know what day it is. It's Monday, obviously. Live show. Welcome to the Kelly kitchen, where we are going to have food and health and fun. You're going to have to bear with me with this lighting. I think it's okay on Facebook, but on YouTube, I look like I'm white with white hair, and we're just going to have to deal with the lighting because that's just how it is. Tonight, you guys, we are going to make these crazy things. These are called Poblano peppers, and the first time I ever had one of these, I was 49 years old. I was scared to death of them. And turns out that they are way less spicy than jalapenos. So we are gonna make these babies. We're gonna roast them. We're gonna stuff them. We're gonna bake them. We're gonna make some really delicious stuffed poblano peppers with some ground beef. We're gonna make my keto Doritos, super quick, super easy, little fun thing that you can have when everybody else is eating the crappy Doritos. You can have these keto Doritos. And we're going to have my chocolate cheesecake cups that are so delicious, so quick and easy, and super fun. Hi, Atsuko, my friend. And hi, everyone else that is visiting me. I love to see everybody and see where everybody's from. And there's my local friend, Anne-Marie, right up the street. Love to see you, too. So we're going to get started with our poblano peppers. You can get them at the supermarket. They're really dark green, but we're going to, I'm just going to use 3 of these, and I've already actually gotten started, but when you slice these, you want to keep the stem on so that it holds the pepper together, because when you start roasting it, it gets soft and it opens up, and you want to sort of hold it together. Hi, Mary from Toronto. So you're going to keep the stem on. You're also going to cut it where it's going to lay flat the best. So if I were to cut it this way, it would be really narrow. So we're going to cut it so that this is one half and this is the other half. So I've already gotten started. Let me just do this one for you. And I'm going to show you what the seeds look like inside. There's not very many. And actually the heat comes from the seeds. So we're going to take those out. Don't be a sissy at all. It's not a hot pepper, I promise. It does have a little bit of kick, but we're going to dial the spice down with a little bit of cream cheese and then the cheddar cheese on top. So if you can see, I have gotten all of the seeds out. Marie, you're so funny. You're cute too. So I got all the seeds out, but I left the stem on. So when I roast it, it's going to stay intact. Now let me just take the seeds out of this one. I'm not going to add anything to these peppers. I have my oven going. Again, all the seeds are out. I have my oven going at 350 degrees. This is what they're going to look like when I put them in the oven. And I'm just going to put them in for 15 minutes. I'm not going to add any oil. I'm not going to season them at all because we're going to let them soften up, and then we'll add some stuff to it. We're going to get this pan going. I've got a little bit of olive oil going in here. I'm going to put this into my oven, and we're just going to soften those up. To get them fully soft, we're going to need more than 15 minutes, but this is sort of like a pre-softening of the peppers to get them going. So in my pan, I just have a little bit of olive oil. I chopped up a small yellow onion. We're going to let this oil heat up a little bit. I have a pound of ground beef, just a brick of ground beef. This is organic, grass-fed. I do the best that I can. Sometimes I find it on sale. Sometimes I don't, but I love it. Who came to visit me? Oh! My cousin, Dave, of course, the heckler in the crowd. Love it. I could always expect that from you. And I want to see some Instant Pot recipes from you, sir. Hi, Kelly. And who else? Oh, Linda, how are you? Okay, so our oil is nice and hot. I'm going to get My onions going. We're going to soften those up a little bit. Get that on high. As soon as those start softening up a little bit, I'm going to add in the ground beef. Now, this recipe, there's nothing really that major about it. It's just sort of pulling everything sort of together. Well, yes, we're going to add some cream cheese. Somebody just said these are delicious, stuffed with cream cheese and wrapped in bacon. Well, we're going to add some cream cheese, but we're going to do stuff a little bit differently. We're going to add some ground beef and some other stuff. So our onions are starting to sizzle. We'll stir those up a little bit. I hope everybody's doing well during this quarantine time, and happy Memorial. I shouldn't say happy Memorial Day. I got in trouble for saying that last year. We are celebrating all of the people that served for our country and died for our country today on this Memorial Day. So thank you for that, and thank you to their families. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California, and we just enjoyed the weekend home, obviously, and kind of like stayed quiet. And some people are going a little bonkers. I know that too. And we just tried to make the environment that we're in as comfortable as possible. Okay, my onions are starting to soften up. I'm going to add my pound of ground beef. I'm going to get that in there. We'll break that up. We're going to add, after this starts to brown a little bit, we're going to add a little bit of taco seasoning. You can make your own taco seasoning if you choose to do so. It's not hard to do. My usual choice of taco seasoning is Trader Joe's. Has a great taco seasoning. This is also a great, can you see that? This is also a great brand. It's just called Simply Organic, and they don't add any fillers. I know that some of the other very well-known brands, they add cornstarch and they add wheat gluten. So I know you don't always have the choice, but if you do, try to pick something like this. Primal Palette also has a great choice of taco seasoning. You know, and again, if you have the time and have all the resources to be able to make your own, then it's great to make a huge batch of taco seasoning so you always have it on hand. Other than that, you guys, I posted a brand new recipe today. Peter was hankering for some carrot cakes. So I made some carrot cakes a couple of weeks ago that was sort of like a microwave version, but this was a muffin version with cream cheese frosting. I hope you saw it. You can go to my website and check it out. And there's my friend Vic. How are you? And my other cousin. It's the cousins in the house. I love it. No heckling. I'll be after you if there's any heckling from my cousins. They're all talking to each other and having a party like it always is. So there you go. Things are just happening here. I think one of the best things that's happened to us during quarantine is that because we don't have commutes anymore to our work, we're still fortunate enough to be able to still be working. But because we don't have a commute anymore, we are able to walk every day, 5 to 7 miles. And Peter does that on his own every Monday night while I'm here doing the show. But every other night I get to do that. And it's really been wonderful to sort of get out and see the neighborhood. And I listen to a bunch of podcasts. Favorite new podcast is How I Built This with Guy Raz. I love that. It's all about these business owners, and they are quite inspiring to me. So our ground beef is coming together. It's almost fully brown. I don't know if you can actually see it. I think you can. Hi, Sandy. Nice to see you. I have it all mixed in here with our ground beef. The ground beef is almost completely cooked. Remember, we are going to be baking this also another 15 minutes in the oven. So it's almost fully cooked in here, but not completely. It'll completely cook down a little bit more as I'm doing this. I'm adding 1 package of taco seasoning. If you were going to make your own, it would be 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning to add to the ground beef mixture. I'll just throw that away. I have my little garbage my little garbage area. I kind of just chuck everything in there, and then when I'm done with you guys, I do a quick cleanup at the end. So our ground beef and our onions are fully mixing all together. Now, here is the thing that I do to make it nice and creamy and pull it all together. I just take a couple tablespoons of softened, sorry, my cousin is heckling me right now. Let's see what he has to say. I do not have any Kelly Kitchen Live t-shirts yet, but for you, I'm going to get some. So I just have some softened cream cheese here, and I'm going to add, it's about 2 tablespoons. If you add a little bit more, that's fine too. But you're just going to mash that in there, and that will mix in with your your taco meat, and it will melt all throughout. You don't want to add too much because you don't want the mixture to be too runny, but you also want it to sort of act as a binder for your ground beef. And I'm going to show you how this all sort of comes together. It's just a little bit of cream cheese. It's not a whole lot because you don't want this to be more of a creamy mixture. You just want that cream cheese to sort of hold it together. So I'm just getting all the little bits and pieces mixed in there. Anyways, if you saw today, I posted my brand new recipe. It's for carrot cake muffins. Don't be afraid of that there's carrots in it. I know the keto police are going to come out and say that carrots are not keto, but if you have just a little bit or if they fit within your macros, it can be fine. It can really work for you. Ketosis is more of a state, and if you figure out what works for your body, what doesn't spike insulin, then it can work for you. And if you're not even low carb or you're not keto, then have as many carrots as you want in these carrot cheesecake muffins, and they're fantastic. I love them. I love them so much. Hi, Murray. Murray, where are you from? I'm so glad that you joined us. Okay, it's getting hot in here. My ground beef has done its thing. And if you can see, I hope I don't drop this. It is just enough cream cheese to hold everything together. So our peppers are coming out of the oven any second now. And then we're going to add in the ground beef. We have about 4 more minutes on the, oh, it's Jen. Hi, Jen. I just called her Murray because that's what her Facebook name is, but nice to see you. We're going to get started while we're waiting for the peppers to finish. We are going to get started on our keto Doritos. Now, this recipe came up because everybody at Super Bowl Sunday a couple months ago was eating Doritos, and it's one of my favorite commercials on the Super Bowl day. And I thought, we need to make a keto version of that. So I just got some thin sliced cheese. This is a Colby Jack, so it's a little bit of a mixed cheese. Can you see that? A little bit of a mixed cheese, and it's thin sliced. You can get the thick sliced if you want, but it will spread more. The thin slice is what I like to use, and I just cut them into little triangles, just one way that way, one way that way, and then I'm going to spread them out on my tray just far enough away from each other. See how I've done them just far enough away from each other because they do spread just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So you're going to put and you need to use a parchment paper because these will stick. Again, I'm going to use a little bit of my taco seasoning. I tell you, I should make my own, that's for sure. I should have a whole brand of that stuff. Let me grab a spoon. Actually, I'm going to use my fingers because I'm just going to pinch a little bit and I'm going to just sprinkle it all over. And you can add even more spice if you want these really spicy. I took a very large jalapeno, and I did not take the seeds out. I'm going to show you what I did with that in just a second. But you're going to take rounds of the jalapenos, and we're going to put them on each one of these cute little triangles. You probably should make a couple racks of these if you do make them, because they go fast, super fast. Okay, so I just used probably like 5 or 6 pinches. I took a jalapeno and I sliced these cute little rounds. I left the seeds in some of them, not with some of them. Who came to visit me? Oh, from Hot Springs, Missouri. Thanks for watching, Lisa. Good to see you. So I left the seeds in some of these, and some of them had, this one's going to be a really spicy one because it's got lots of seeds in it, but I'm going to put 1 jalapeno on each cheese triangle, and some of my jalapenos are a little bit smaller, and so those will go on the smaller pieces of the triangles, and you basically just give each one of these little triangles their own jalapeno, and then basically we're gonna bake these. We'll do it at the same time that we're gonna do the stuffed peppers. We're gonna utilize my tiny little oven, and we'll do these for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll check them, and then we might do them a little bit longer. And I'm almost done here, you guys. Hang with me. Let's see, this one will go here. And there, exactly the right amount, right? No, I missed one, sorry. Okay, so this is what they're gonna look like. So you have your little cheese triangles, you do your sprinkle of taco seasoning, and then you just do a slice of your jalapeno right on top. And we're gonna bake these in a 350-degree oven for we're gonna go about 5 to 7 minutes. And then we're going to check them, and then we might go another 3 or 4 minutes, and then we're going to broil them. So those will come together very, very, very quickly. We'll put those in there. And the poblano peppers are ready to come out. So we're going to take these out. They've just started to soften up a little bit. They pretty much look the same, but we're going to stuff them now, and then let me just set this timer so I don't forget about those cheese things. Okay, those are in there. This is very hot. So here's what I'm going to do. Actually, let me move this a little bit closer so you guys can see. They smell so good, and they're starting to really, they're starting to weep. I don't know if you can't actually see that, but the moisture is starting to dissipate inside of the peppers, and they'll start to really soften. They're going to be beautiful. So I hope you can see this. I'm just going to scoop in my taco mixture, my ground beef mixture. You don't have to be perfect with this. When these get served, you'll do the best that you can with pulling up. You'll scoop up a single pepper or 2. For 1 serving of this is 2 sides, so 1 full pepper. And I think the carb count is like 6 grams net carb for the whole pepper with the ground beef and the onions. If you want to reduce the carbs, you just omit the onion, or you lessen the onion. Maybe you add some celery. But this is a great dinner. It's great as leftovers, and I'm telling you, it's not nearly as spicy as you would think. And I stayed away from this kind of pepper for all of my life because it was a little scary for me to even think about it, even think about eating something like this. But I'm telling you, it's so full of flavor, and the cream cheese really lessens the spice. Who just said something to me? You know, someone just asked if poblanos were less carbs than bell peppers. I think they're about the same, and I probably should be more specific about that, and I will check. But that's a great question. I think they're about the same as bell peppers. They just have a little bit more of a kick than that. Okay, so I've got equal amounts of ground beef in each of my peppers. Let me just show you what this looks like. You can see. So each of those, oh, from Canada. Hi, Danielle. So each of my halves of my bell pepper gets a scoop of the ground beef right inside there. Then I'm just going to take some cheddar cheese and I'm going to cover each one of these. This is probably about a half a cup of shredded cheese, maybe 3/4 of a cup. Again, if you're trying to cut your dairy, you can cut that down just a little bit more. I don't like to cut my dairy down. I like to add it to be cheese and really, really delicious. Okay, so I think that's a good amount. Let's take a look. This is before I'm going to be putting this into, hi Janine, how are you? I'm going to be putting this into the oven now for another 15 minutes, and we're going to check on our keto Doritos now. Oven is still at 350. Our keto Doritos are they're very happy. And we're just going to let them stay in there for a few more minutes. Our poblano peppers, they're very happy. We're going to get this trash out of the way. And now I know why everybody comes. They always come for the dessert, and we're going to get busy on the dessert now. I'm going to wash my hands because I just was holding tons and tons of jalapeno peppers and poblano peppers, and I don't want peppers to be in my chocolate cheesecake. So let me just give a quick wash and get all of the peppers off of my hands. We'll get this out of the way. And get this out of the way. So the reason that I came up with these chocolate cheesecake cups is because I love chocolate cheesecake, but it's a little daunting to make an entire chocolate cheesecake. And by the way, when you make an entire chocolate cheesecake, who's going to eat it all? So I came up with this recipe. It is the 4 servings, and they stay pretty nicely in the fridge for a couple of days. So you can spread it out and you can share. Hi, Rosette. How are you? The best part, yes, dessert. Everybody wants to know about dessert. So we're going to get started. I have, so organized. Here's one of my little sheets for you. I'm going to get started with, I have Baker's chocolate, and Baker's chocolate is the unsweetened Baker's chocolate. You can get this at any supermarket. It's pretty inexpensive. I think this 7 ounces was like $3 or $3.50, but you can get it at pretty much any supermarket, and it stays in your cupboard for a really long time. You can order it online if you want. This recipe calls for 2 ounces of chopped, unsweetened Baker's chocolate, which is 2 squares. It's 2 squares of this. And then 1 tablespoon of butter. And we're going to put this in the microwave and let this melt together. We'll do it in just 30-second increments. You don't want to burn the chocolate because then it'll get bitter, even more bitter. We're going to bring this over here. The crust, the crumble is, ooh, there's my keto Doritos. I don't want them to burn. Hold, please hold. Oh, looking good. Okay, I'm going to show you what these look like just in between. So they're getting ready. We're going to do a quick broil on these for like 30 seconds. I am not going to let them, they're not going to leave my sight. I promise. Okay, so we're going to do a quick broil. We'll do 30 seconds. So while that's going for 30 seconds, where was I? I just wanted to show you. So in the pictures, you may have seen the recipe. I put them in these really cute little jars. I get these from the supermarket, and it's a yogurt brand called Oui. And I got these for my kids like years ago. They're filled with sugar. I don't get them anymore, but I just love the jars, so I saved them. But You probably won't have them, so you can use some plastic cups. Hold, I got to check on my things so that they don't burn. Almost ready. About 10 more seconds. So most people don't have like fun little jars. You can use a mug. That's fine too. I just use these plastic little Dixie cups. And because this recipe calls for 4 of them, and we've already eaten them, so I'm going to be giving all of these away. I'm going to do them all in these plastic cups. I've got 2 tablespoons of melted butter. We're going to get started with the crust. I'm going to get our keto Doritos. There they are. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so our peppers are still doing their thing. We will let them, I'm just setting the timer so don't forget about them. The peppers are still doing their thing. There are keto Doritos. These are going to cool on the tray. If you have enough counter space, I would suggest you pull the parchment paper and pull it directly onto the counter so that the granite counter or the marble counter can cool the underside and it will just cool them quicker. So I'm going to, let's see, I'll put them right over here. Let those cool down for a few minutes and then I'll show you. You can actually crisp them a little bit more if you wanted to, but I didn't want to burn them on camera. So if you wanted to crisp them just a little bit more, and then when they are cool, they're even more crispy. So right now, these ones are probably like a crispy, chewy, which I'm fine with too, because it's really all about the flavor. So let's get started on the crust for our chocolate cheesecake cup. I have almond flour. Where's my recipe? I wrote it down for you because I forgot. I have 6 tablespoons of almond flour. I have 1.5 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I just used plain old unsweetened Hershey's cocoa powder. And then I use a little bit of my Lakanto monk fruit sweetener. It is a blend of monk fruit and erythritol. And this one, for the crust, it can be granular, just like regular sugar. And we're just going to mix that all together. And then we're going to add in our 1.5 tablespoons of melted butter. We'll do that. I got a lot of stuff going on here. We're going to leave that over there. I forgot. I'm melting chocolate over here. So let's see what that is doing. Where's my thing? So we have our chocolate and our butter melting together. Don't worry, we're going to get to this. It needs about 10 more seconds, I think, just to melt the chocolate, but we don't want to burn the chocolate. We don't want it bubbling. We just want it melted. So we're going to put it for 10 more seconds. We're going to mix together. This is our cookie crumble that's going to go mostly on the bottom of this. Okay, so the chocolate, I'm just going to let it sit in there and continue to melt in there. Let it melt. So now I'm going to just take my fork and I'm going to mash the butter into the cocoa powder and the seasoning and the almond flour, and it's going to make like a cookie crumble. And we will add just a little bit, like a little bit less than a tablespoon into each one of our cups, just to form the base of our cheesecake cup. This is where most of the carbs comes in this dessert. So if you want to reduce the carbs even more, you can omit this part. Quite frankly, I like the texture back and forth between the crispy, or not the crispy, but sort of the crunchy crumble and then the soft, gooey sort of chocolate cheesecake mixture. So I don't really want to reduce this part. I think one of these is 6 grams net carb. I think that's right. I don't know. Check me on that. I did it on the. I have a nutrition calculator on the website. So, but I have to tell you, Cheesecake Factory, one slice of chocolate cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory is 1,200 calories and 83 carbs, 83 grams of carbs in one slice of chocolate cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. So I feel like we're doing pretty well if we can, stay around 6 or 7 carbs for one dessert, right? Why not? Okay, so I have my chocolate cookie crumble. I'm going to put that to the side for right now because now it is time for us to mix together our cheesecake mixture. And I'm going to just make sure that our chocolate is fully melted in our butter. We're going to stir that together. Get that nice. Now remember that this is not sweetened yet. We haven't sweetened it yet. So in my bowl here, I'm just going to show you. This doesn't look very good this way, but we'll make it work. So right now I have a block of 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. I pulled this out a couple of hours ago, so it's soft from the counter. Somebody just made a joke. We'll talk about it later. So I have cocoa powder in here. I have cream cheese in here. I have powdered Lakanto sweetener. Now, if you have granular low-carb sweetener, which would be like erythritol or any of those things, and it's only granular, you need to powder it. You can buy it already powdered, but you can powder it yourself if you have the granular. You just use a coffee grinder or a food processor, and you want to get it fine because it doesn't melt, and so you want it to not have that crunchy sort of gritty flavor. We are going to, with my trusty hand mixer, we're just gonna blend those together. We've got the chocolate, the sweetener, the cream cheese, and as soon as I get these blended, we're gonna add the melted chocolate and a little bit of cream and a little bit of vanilla. Everybody pretty much has. If you're a low-carb person, you probably have a lot of these ingredients already in your house. Okay, so far, this is what our mixture looks like. Okay, sorry, I didn't let them see it. I didn't let them see it. There you go. So I'm going to add 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. I'm going to add my melted baker's chocolate it's mixed with the melted butter. And then I'm going to add my vanilla. So we'll put that in just a second. I don't want to leave any of my chocolate off to the side. Okay. So that, we're going to just put that there. We'll do 1/2 teaspoon of my vanilla. I got a jumbo vanilla because all the baking supplies are really, they're really going through a lot of them. Of course, the flour and the sugar, that doesn't really bother me, but it's like the baking soda and the baking powder and all that sort of stuff. So I have put all of those ingredients in there together, and now I am mixing so that we get a nice creamy consistency. Now, the recipe says that you need to let this chill for an hour, but quite frankly, you can eat it right away. The chilling just makes it harder and more dense, like a cheesecake, like the Cheesecake Factory's cheesecake. But I like it kind of creamy. Okay. We're just going to get all of the cheesecake off of there. And done. Okay. I have to try this. That bowl that's in the sink was unsweetened chocolate. So don't worry, I'm going to lick everything else that has chocolate in it. Chocolate. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. So this is the bowl that I'm going to be licking clean. There is my chocolate cheesecake mixture. But I'm not ready yet. because I have two little tricks I'm going to do, or one little trick I'm going to do for you guys. First, I'm just going to put a tablespoon of this into each one of my, where's my thing here? That has taco seasoning on it. I can't use that. Here we go. Okay. So you're going to do a level tablespoon in each one because you want enough to spread out. Remember, we're keeping track of carbs here. So I could make double this cookie and then my carbs go up to like 11 and then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. So we just want a little bit. We're going to do just a little bit in the bottom of each one of our cups. A little bit more in that one. That person would feel gypped if they didn't get all of their cookie crumble. Okay, so check it out. So just the bottom of your little cups. I'm going to do that. Okay, so here's the trick I was going to show you. I know this is kind of weird. And you don't have to do this. You could, quite frankly, just spoon the cheesecake mixture into each one of these cups. But this kind of makes it look a little nicer. And so, oh, hi, Emily. Just tuning in. Right now I'm making chocolate cheesecake cups. We've got stuffed poblano peppers in the oven. And we just finished making keto Doritos. So this is a little trick I'm going to teach you. I just like a little container here. I have a regular Ziploc bag. I'm going to put the point side down inside of my bag. And then I am going to spoon my chocolate cheesecake mixture right inside the bag. And don't worry, I'm going to get every little nook and cranny of my cheesecake mixture inside this bag. Okay, so I have all of my chocolate cheesecake. So this is my makeshift pastry bag. And I'm going to squeeze all of the chocolate all the way down to the end, all the way down to the bottom. Get that all the way down there. We'll get all the air bubbles out. Put this right next to me here. So I don't have a fancy pastry bag. This is my fancy pastry bag. So there you go. I'm going to cut the end off. I'm going to cut a pretty big end off. And then I'm going to equally put in my cheesecake mixture. So I cut the end off. I'm going to equally put my cheesecake mixture into each cup. And make sure it's even or else people they'll get mad that they don't get the full amount because it's so delicious. Now, when I do this in glass jars, I like to press it down and I tap them. These are plastic, so it might be a little bit harder to tap the cheesecake mixture into. This person's getting a little bit less. Sorry. That'll be mine. That's fine. Okay. So see, I got all of the chocolate out of my bag. I probably will lick this later. I'm sure of it. And then I'm going to just tap these down. So you tap them down so that the cheesecake falls to the bottom as best you can. Okay, now for the next step, I'm just going to take, so see how I tap that down? So see my chocolate cheesecake? Sandra, you can come and learn from me anytime. Someday we'll have studio audience. I'm sure of it. I'm hoping for it. So we've got all of our chocolate cheesecakes here. We've got a little bit of our mixture left. They're going to be less than a tablespoon on top, and you're just going to want to sprinkle just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay? So you kind of have a couple layers going. You got the cookie on the bottom, then you got the cheesecake, then you got a little bit more cookie, and then just because I like you guys, I made some whipped cream. You don't have to do whipped cream if you don't want to, but why not? We'll do some whipped cream. So whipped cream, just heavy whipping cream and a little bit of stevia. And I just use my electric mixer, and that's how I make my whipped cream. So I'm just going to do a little dollop of whipped cream. Oh, shoot. I flipped that one over by accident. Shh, don't tell anybody. Actually, whoever gets it they're going to love it. Any which way. Okay, so there's that one. And there's that one. And now we're going to do just the last sprinkle right on top of our chocolate cheesecake cups. I'm telling you, you guys, one of these is, you can even share it with people because they're that rich and delicious. I mean, share it only if you want to be friendly. Oh, did you hear that? That's our poblano peppers. Let's go check on them. I have a feeling that they are going to be done, but I'm going to want to do like a little broil on top. So let's check it out. Oh, I don't even think they need that, but let's check it out. Oh, wow. I mean, so delicious. There, my friends, those are our stuffed poblano peppers. They're going to just sit here and cool for a little bit. Well, let's put them here so you guys can see them. I'm going to show you our keto Doritos. I got a lot going on here, but don't worry, this is an easy cleanup tonight. These are our cheesecake cups, little mini chocolate cheesecake cups. Little mini chocolate cheesecake cups, so delicious. I already know what these taste like, so I'm not going to be eating any of these, and these are going to a friend of mine. So those will go into the fridge. We've got our stuffed poblano peppers, which are, they're nice and bubbly, and the peppers are they're really soft. And I'm going to serve that. Peter and I are going to have dinner in a little bit, and I'll serve that with a little side salad. And our keto Doritos. This is nice and cool now, so I can hold it. I'm just going to show you what these look like. These are our keto Doritos. And this one actually, has a nice crunch to it. Just a little crunch, a little chewy, a little nice treat. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. We were pretty quick dinner tonight. I've got some amazing recipes on the forefront that are coming, so stay tuned. Check out the website, thekellykitchen.com. Any of my social media is The Kelly Kitchen. Let's see if I had any questions. Oh, so quick question about the cheese that I used. Where's the cheese I like to use for the keto Doritos? Sargento brand. You can get it pretty much anywhere. This was a Colby Jack. I like to get thin sliced. Oh, my cousin Dave, thank you so much. And thanks for not heckling me too much, because you know I'd come and get you. So thin sliced, you can get thick sliced. That works fine too. But the thin slice, I don't know, there's something about it that I like a little bit better. And you can almost see the holes that come through it. Wait, let me do it this way. See the holes that come through it? So delicious. Someone's drooling over the food. Well, Danielle, thanks for joining us. You can watch it on reruns. You can find me on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter and everywhere else. And if you have any questions, or if there's anything that you think would be great for us to make in the Kelly Kitchen and make it low carb, then let me know or ask some questions, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Oh, and don't forget to share and subscribe and like and all that sort of stuff. Okay, bye guys. Bye. Yes, we're gonna end.